RWBY Volume 1, Episode 5, The First Step, Part 2. Very short episode. This is going to be a very short part. I have less notes than the previous one. The episode literally starts off with just seeing a little bird. Maybe it's a raven or a crow flying by. And RWBY slams into it. And so this is the longest point of discussion here that I have to talk about. So do you think that that is raven or crow or a random bird?
I
Discuss.
have a, I have a feeling it's. I have a feeling it's Raven, but you could argue it's Crow. I think it is important. I don't think it's just a random bird.
I think it's random. Being honest.
I like to think it's Raven. Because Raven's been watching over Yang
For a long time.
Yeah, pretty much every time that we've seen a bird so far. And just for all I know, it might just be one time, so this is a limited test case. But it was Raven. Very heavily implied that it was Raven. So I'm pretty sure this is still Raven. Could be Crow, though, because it's kind of got some bad luck him being slammed into, but typically bad luck happens to other people, or just a random bird. I don't know. I like to think it's Raven.
I like to think it's Raven as well.
Slammed like that just makes me feel happy.
That's rude.
Fuck Raven. We've been over this.
She's been the biggest supporter of Yang her entire life.
All right, come on, let's move past this guy.
Everybody gets one, Yang. We discussed this. I saved your life one time. That's it. Oh, you lost your arm? Wah, wah, wah.
That's why they call a ambulance. So,
That's funny. But essentially, we started seeing everybody kind of land, and especially, I love John's landing, where trying to use his shield to do something, but let's be honest, he's John. And then there's Pierre again with their spear. Okay, here we go.
The closest thing that he could do to a landing strategy is use his shield as a slide or a surfboard or a snowboard and try to slam into the trees and branches and slide down like that. But there's no way in hell that Jean's going to succeed in that.
Pierre's landing was awesome, though.
Oh, yeah. She just fucking lands, does a whole roll, and then she just fucking rifle, aim, throw.
Saves his life.
I love the distance. Thank you. And her just, I'm sorry. But I think that does actually kind of give an indicator into his character that so far all he has been is the damsel in distress, which is exactly what we get into later in the series.
Yep.
Or in this volume, that's the exact thing he doesn't want to be.
He doesn't want to be a problem. Yep.
He wants to be the hero.
But after that happens, RWBY lands to the ground, starts running.
Whoa.
I know.
Let's not forget Ren's landing strategy. The coolest one of them all. The spiral going around the tree. Oh, that's sick as fuck. And Yang's pretty cool too, using the rockets and the sunglasses herself, just being the cool badass. Oh.
Yeah.
Alright, now, what were you saying?
Well, RWBY, coming to the ground, I know she's definitely looking for Yang, and I thought it was pretty funny that she stumbles upon, of course, Weiss.
Before we get to that, though, while she's running and thinking about who she wants to run into, we do get a little bit of a cameo from the RTAA. As she's thinking, all the thought bubbles appear in the RT animated.
Oh yeah, it was done by
animation.
Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he did all the RTAs at that point.
Is he even still with the company?
I honestly have no idea. I think so, but maybe not. But yeah, then she runs into Weiss. And Weiss is just like, oh fuck, no.
Even though his direct rule is, first person you see is your partner. She's like, I will break the rules.
Yeah, who can enforce that rule, really? No one.
I mean, they're watching them.
Shh.
And Ruby's trying to make it work. She's like, you know what? This is the rule. Let's just make the best of it. And then I know Weiss stumbles upon John in a tree, and she's like, I'm gonna nope the fuck out of that one.
My choice is between awful and worse.
You see, that's what I'm saying. What could have been? It could have been Ruby, Weiss, Thea, John. Right there. Oh, that would be like a
Yeah.
really awkward name.
Yeah. You ever think that Osmond ever had that? It's like, I have no idea what team name to make this. I'm gonna have to rearrange this manually. Actually, according to the footage, you actually saw that person earlier, so technically they're your teammate.
According to the footage.
And then after that happens, we do see Pierre run into Jean, and she's just so fucking precious.
Best girl.
They're just like, can I help you get down from there? And John's just like, and he's like a
Smile.
little
Oh,
shy
yeah.
smile. Just adorable. And then the episode pretty much ends with Weiss, or like Ruby kind of jumping off, and Weiss being surrounded by Grimm all of a sudden.
Do you think it's because of Weiss's attitude that the Grimm were attracted to her?
It would make
Maybe.
sense.
Where we get that first kind of sense of your emotions are a huge factor?
That would very much make sense. I did not think about that, but that's probably true.
Because of her, she's always pissed off, but like at least in the first couple volumes, definitely doesn't help the situation.
Nope.
So yeah, very easy episode, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Shorter. You just get to see some cool little things. That's about it.
Yeah.
I think it's the next one where it starts to kind of pick up.
Next 2 episodes, I think, have a lot more combat.
You at least get to see something more. See the world a little bit more.
It was probably the next 4 episodes that have a lot more combat.
Yeah. So, as always, Connor, what's your rating?
6 out of 10.
Mike.
8 out of 10.
You don't have to stare at me like that. I knew it was coming. I'm gonna give it a 7. Only
Okay.
because I found more humor in this one with John. Which leads me, I think John was still my favorite character in this one. I'm a huge fan of John. But what about you, Mike?
Beer.
Yeah, best girl.
Yeah, I'm
And,
gonna go with Pierre in this one.
Why? No. New
she's-
rule. After this, you cannot choose the same as someone else. I know I did it last time with you. Just kidding. No, because then it wouldn't be your favorite. Just
Yeah.
potentially.
Pierre, she's too good in this episode. She's adorable. Even like the way, like
Well, it goes to
her
prove-
composure when she's looking at Jean. It's like she was just trying to like pump up her breasts a little bit. It's like, oh, Jean, leaning forward. Look at me. Love me. Avenge me.
Avenge me. Where is she? Where's John?
That'd be great. Like seeing a little like behind the scene joke shoot of this, where it's like Pyrrha lands and she sees Cardin, and Cardin's like, hey, hey, and she's like, fuck you. Just walks away.
We don't know who she encountered before that.
No,
Now,
according to the episode, just Jean.
I would have thought Weiss would have stayed because she saw Pierre's spear, knowing that she would come retrieve her spear, and the fact that she said teams could compose of people. But then I guess she weighed the options of having to deal with Jean. It was like, nah.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
She might have also just not been thinking about it. Just looked at Jean and just been filled with so much seething hatred that she was just blind to everything else.
True. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. Oh, a special thank you to our patrons. Your support helps us grow inch by inch, building the foundations for the future of HSG. So thank you. If you'd like to become a patron, be sure to check out the description for a link to our Patreon, where you can get things like stickers, shirts, or even the chance to work with me to create a major character for the RWBY D&D. I know we're already letting you request a character, but, the paid version's cooler. Comes with some extra benefits. And be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't, and ring that bell to be alerted to our videos. Or don't. It's a free internet. You can choose.